Hey, I'm Mark. How you doing? I am working on trying to get my Texas real estate license. This is my second YouTube video. My first one was covering Texas Principles of Real Estate 1. Now this is covering Texas Principles of Real Estate 2. Part 1 was quite a bit longer. I was kind of discussing about who I am, why I'm doing this, what I'm jumping into. And so if that's an interest to you to kind of check out and a few ideas on Texas Principles of Real Estate 1, you can kind of check back on that video. But this one more or less is going to be covering Chapter 2. I want to try to keep these videos, like I said, anywhere from 2, 3 to 5 minutes, right around in there. I'm not going to cover a lot of extra crap on the side and drag out the video. I'm going to just cover what we all want to hear and move on to the next thing. All this tied to proctoring now. I'm sure it's a lot of people are having a little bit more tough time kind of getting through this. Like I said in part 1, I think it's great for the reason of when we finally get to that last test, we'll be knocking that sucker out. I think it'll be pretty darn easy, hopefully. I know it's a beast. Everybody talks about how bad it is, but hopefully it's made simpler by us being really dedicated to learning each one of these. And so some of my ideas as you're doing these tests and doing each chapter and going over through the reviews, one of them, like I said in 1, is I like to highlight all the words that's on the computer screen. On my computer, you can hit an Option Escape, and it's going to end up reading it to you. Like I said in 1, I'm very dyslexic, and so having it read to me while I'm reading it myself really helps make it stick. I mean, I flew through Principles 2 pretty well and understood a lot of what was going on. I was concerned with learning and knowing the equations and being able to remember those when we were asked about compound interest, add-on interest, all those kind of fun interest rates. I was concerned with knowing that and remembering that for my test. And so I went ahead and emailed my instructor, and my instructor kind of emailed me back and said, there's not going to be a whole lot of questions on here with math. And so if you learn the law side of it, take the terminology and really understand the terminology of the important things, you'll pass this test. And he honestly was very, very right. I think I had only 2 math questions in there, and it was simple stuff, simple interest or how much your interest rate would go up if, you're paying points and stuff. And so really, really simple math questions. So don't worry about the math side of it so much. Kind of go over what you're learning as terminology and law. The best thing about it really is part 2 really ties into part 1 pretty darn well. And so a lot of the stuff that you're covering is what you've already covered in 1. And so if you really learned 1 and did great at 1, 2 shouldn't be any interest or any problem for you. Part 1 was a problem for me. I mean, learning it was really, really tough. In fact, as I said in 1, I failed the test enough that I had to turn around and pay another $100 to do it. And so I'm doing a lot of things different, just so it really sticks with me and really covers the things that I needed to cover for it to stay in my mind so I can really process it. One of the things that I've been doing is, like I said, highlighting and let the computer read to me. The other thing that I've done is there's you can type in or look for Quizlets on online, Google, and you pull up Quizlets, Texas Principles of Real Estate 2, and it'll come up with a lot of different questions for you. I change on there to allow you to change over to definitions. I do all of them as definitions. That way I understand what the meaning of each word is and what it all pertains to. When I do my tests and I have a question that I don't know the answer to, I can quite literally now look at the words and say, well, this ties to this and this ties to this. And so if I'm down to 2 possible choices, it makes it a 50-50 as opposed to 25%. And so go on to Quizlets, kind of learn those definitions. It really is a helpful thing to do. I also take and during the test, they allow us a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, whatever you like to use, or a calculator. I thought I'd give this a shot. And so as I go through and do the test, if I'm not sure about the questions, I write them down. And so I was waiting for the proctor to say, hey, what are you writing down? Or why are you writing something down now? That's not a math question. And they said nothing to me. So I just kept track and started writing down the questions that I did not know the answers to. That way, if for some reason I need to, if I fail the test, then I can turn around and I can go back and go through these questions to make sure I knew the answers for later on. It worked out great. No one had any issues with it. And so I think I wrote down about a total of 6 questions. And so it was really going to work real well going into the next one. That way I know that I'm fine doing that. I don't feel like I'm causing any problems or trying to cheat in any way. So write those down as you go, and that way you have that. So that's going to be my advice going through chapter 2 and going into Texas law, is really kind of utilize those different options to kind of make life a little easier for you as you go through. Like I said, I've just started now Texas law. Honestly, it's really simple. It really, to me, is a lot of common knowledge. So I'm going to blow through it. And as soon as I get it done and go through the test, I'll let you know. You have a good one. Good luck to you. I hope everything runs great. If there's any questions or comments or ideas to make it easier for me, I'd love to hear from you. Hopefully we're all passing this sucker together. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. And if you need anything, let me know.